is Julie. I am the person behind I Can Knit That. I just wanted to come on here and show a few more things a little bit more in detail. My previous podcast, or my first podcast, if you ended up watching that, was a bit rushed and a bit kind of chaotic, to be honest with you. So I just pulled out 2 or 3 pieces to really talk about, and then I really got an exciting order that I really wanted to show you guys that's knit related but not exactly knitwear itself or yarn. So I'm just really excited to share that all with you, and thank you for joining me. I live in Hertfordshire with my family and my husband, my 2 kids, but I'm originally from Texas. I will give a little bit more of a kind of who I am thing at the end if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about me. But if you're just kind of interested in what I'm wearing and what I'm knitting, I'll start off with that. So I guess what I'll start off with is what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the Cargill sweater by the Crayabea, which is Rebecca Cry, I think it is. She designed this jumper, and it was actually her very first design, and when I saw that she was coming out with a jumper, it made me really excited. I really wanted to knit it, and it was just really gorgeous. The kind of yarns I used to peel a little bit, but yeah, I mean, basically I've been knitting a lot for my family, my husband, my kids, and for other people, and I haven't been knitting as much as I want to for myself. And so I was kind of going through a more difficult time in my life. I suffer with a chronic illness, I have Crohn's disease, and I need to go into hospital for surgery for that. So I decided to kind of put all my projects I was doing for everyone else on the side a little bit, and I'm just kind of focused on myself and knit something that felt really special and just kind of take care of myself while getting ready for that more difficult period. So I decided on this jumper, and I'm really, really happy I did. I used these 2 really kind of special yarns. So the main color I used is like a sport weight, and it almost feels like it was hand spun because it wasn't as consistent as things that I'm more used to that are more commercially spun. But it was this Lavender Hill Farms 100% alpaca, and they're based just outside Connecticut. So I was visiting my friend in Connecticut when we were last in the States, and together we bought this yarn. And what's really special about it is that it's all 100% from this alpaca, and his name is Mikey. Unfortunately, Mikey's no longer with us, but he does have really amazing yarn, and it's just so soft. And then for, because I know alpaca is not necessarily the most hard wearing and, like the strongest fiber, I wanted to pair it with something else to kind of, give it a little bit more depth and also to give it a little bit more strength. So I wanted to still have something with silk in it. So staying along the lines of kind of splurging on myself and doing something really special for myself, I went ahead and got this yarn, and it's King Fiber. Sorry, the tag's a little beat up, but it's the only one I have, and it's called Verantia, and it's 79% cashmere fluff and 21% silk, and it has lace in it. So it's just made the most like lovely vibe, like, I don't know, it's like an alternative to mohair or Surrey alpaca but with cashmere. And I mean, this is the first time I ever made this, I mean knitted with this yarn or this fiber, and I was just really, really happy. So it does peel like crazy because both alpaca and cashmere have that tendency of pilling a lot. So that's kind of my bad with the fiber choice, but it is the most butteriest, softest, loveliest thing ever, and it does feel like a lovely warm hug every time I wear it, and it kind of takes a more difficult time in my life and puts a little bit more of a spin on it to make it a bit better, happier, positive vibes. So yeah, so I feel really good about it, and every time I wear it, it just reminds me of that time that I was taking care of myself and really putting myself first, and it just feels incredible. And if you were here for the last podcast, you would have seen me working on this jumper. So I finished the front. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say about this. I lengthened, sorry, I'm jumping around. Here, let me go back. So kind of about this jumper, it's worked top down. It's worked completely in the round. There's some short rose shaping at the beginning. You don't start with the collar. You pick up for the collar later. And the collar is supposed to be double folded, but I don't like it super thick. So I just went ahead and just did half the amount of the collar and just kind of did a tubular bind off from there because I really like the look of the tubular bind off, and I did a tubular bind off on the cuff and on the hem as well. And I just lengthened the arms a little bit so that they can go over my hands a bit, and then you put the stitches on hold for the arms and you continue them. And it's just this really beautiful drop stitch. It takes a minute to kind of get into the stitch pattern and to kind of have a flow with it, I found. But once you do, it kind of moves along a lot quicker. And I knit it quite quickly because I'm a monogamous knitter, so I only knit at one thing at a time. So I get through my projects quite quickly that way. And I've tried to work on multiple projects at once, but I just find it a bit stressful because I'm like a completionist, so I want something to be completely done before I move on to the next thing. So even when I don't have one project at a time, I typically just focus on one thing until it's done, and then I move on to the next. I have a hard time kind of dabbling in things. And so that being said, if you were around for the last podcast, you would have known I'm working on this jumper for my husband. So it's still a work in progress. I finished one sleeve. It has decreases until here, and then it's worked straight. So let me tell you about it. Sorry, just kind of jumping around. So this is made with Bonus Aran Hayfield Extra Value. And it's 100% acrylic yarn. It's quite nice. It's an Aran weight yarn. It's like a dark gray mix is the colorway. You get, how much do you get? 279 yards or 256 meters for every 100 grams. So it's pretty good. Sorry. The construction is worked in pieces, but I'm like sort of doing that. Typically you just work the front, and then I think you work the back, then the front, then the arms, and then you kind of piece it all together. But I started working it in the round. And I did a tubular cast on. So I really like the look of that. And I just kind of worked in the round until I got to the sleeve separation, and then I worked the back. And then I put some stitches on hold for that collar, and then I worked the front. And it does have some neck shaping here and here. Maybe here and here. And then you seam the top closed and you pick up for the neckband, and then I just did a Italian bind off for the neck. And then the sleeves are also supposed to be worked flat, but I just decided to work them in the round. And you start from the cuff and you work your way up, and then from here upwards, you're like binding off in a way to create shaping so that it's not completely flat. It's kind of like a curve to the arm sleeve, so it kind of sits a little nicer in here. So it's not completely flat. It's kind of diagonal down. And I like it. So you increase. So you increase rapidly here. And then you increase a little less rapidly, but still quite quickly here. And then here you're working straight until you start binding off. And then you just sew it on. And my husband tried it on and it fits him really, really nicely. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. And so that's my one work in progress, hence being a monogamous knitter. So yeah, so I've started on the second arm. So I've gotten the cuff down and I've done the shorter, like the more rapid increases here. I like to weave in my ends as I go. So I recorded it, but it didn't have any audio. So I just wanted to quickly jump on again and just kind of go over a few of those things that we missed. So basically, what did I want to say? I think I was still talking about this. I was just saying how I like to weave in the ends as I go, just because I find it easier than when the ends are dangling. I can't with it. It's just too much. So I just weave in as I go, and I'm just knitting it. It's cute. It's quick. It's nice. I don't know what to say. I was saying, I think that I'm knitting these on the Tri-Goo shorty set. And it's like the 9-inch circulars, and it's the 8 US 5mm size needles. And then those are the recommended for the pattern. I'm just kind of going as it says. And he tried it on last night, whatever was already finished. And it fit him really nicely. So I'm really excited. It's not too long, it's not too short, and I mean, he looks good in it. I'm happy. I'm happy to wash it and have him wear it because he really needs it. He's like freezing all the time and he needs some like thick jumpers, and honestly he needs some woolly jumpers, not that there's anything wrong. This is acrylic, and it will keep him really insulated, but it's not very breathable. So this will be nice and warm. We will also make him some woolly jumpers and keep him testy warm. And I have so much fun yarn. I'm really excited to use it. I have so many fun ideas. But I told him today, I have a few projects I'm finishing up, but 2023 is going to be the year where I'm going to focus more on knitting for myself. I do a lot of knitting for my kids, for my husband, for friends, family, whoever else. I'm just like, somebody's going through something, even teachers, I was knitting them cute little bookmarks. It's just like anyone who's like anywhere, I'm just like, I'll make that for you, I can knit it for you, and I just like knitting so much, and I just really enjoy sharing it with people. So I get really excited about knitting for people, and then like as I'm knitting and knitting and knitting, I kind of almost like, I really want to knit for myself. And so then what ends up happening is I just go onto Ravelry a whole bunch, and I just buy a bunch of patterns and like, oh, I love that, and I want to make that, and I just want to do a lot more for myself. And so I ended up just kind of window shopping for myself and then knitting for others. So I'm going to finish up that jumper. I have a blanket to make for my son, but it's not going to be like a huge blanket. It's going to be like this really cute, actually, shark blanket, because I made a mermaid tail blanket for my daughter, and I'm actually going to use the leftover yarn from this jumper to make his shark one. And he was just like, oh my god, I want one, so we went on Ravelry, and we found one, and it's just really cute. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, so that would be amazing because I could just use up the rest of the yarn from this project on that. Because I don't know why, but I ordered like way too much. I ordered like 6 or 7 balls too many. I don't know why. Anyway, so that's what that is. And so yeah, 2023 is going to be the year where I knit more things for myself. I'm not going to not knit for anybody else because my mother-in-law's birthday is coming up and I already have the yarn to make her a hat and all the rest of it. But I want to knit more for myself, and I'm going to focus on that. And I've knit enough for my kids. Like, honestly, if they want anything, they almost already have it. So, I mean, it's not that I'm not going to knit for them, it's just I'm going to focus more on myself. But I think for every one garment I make for someone else, I'm going to make one for me. I don't know how this will work. But I do want to knit more for myself. And yeah, so I think that ends, about what I'm wearing, what I'm working on. And let's kind of move into like some more fun things. I got well, okay. My husband's family friend, she used to be a really avid knitter, when she was younger, and like when when his mom and her were having a bunch of kids, like when she was knitting all the time. And so now she knows I knit, and so she brought over some of her books that she has. She's not knitting as much anymore. I think she wants to get back into it though, because we were talking about it. But she lent me some of her books. She didn't give them to me. I'm borrowing them, but I'm really excited to have them. And this is called The Complete Home Knitting Illustrated, and this is a vintage knitting book. It's like 1940s. We weren't sure when, but it's definitely like wartime, because it does talk about the make, do, and mend and the coupons, and it's just such a gorgeous book. So we think it's like mid-40s based on what everyone's wearing. In the front part, it's just kind of information about how to knit. Such a beautiful book. And then it gets into patterns. So gorgeous. Look, vest and panties. Like, I would totally just make that for myself and just wear it around the house. Like, this is so amazing. Look at that. Look at that. This is so beautiful. It has really great stuff. That's really pretty. I don't know if I'll make this, but for sure it's gorgeous. Just really, really interesting stuff. Look at that. So pretty. So precious. I would make that. I'd make that for my son. Maybe not with the turtleneck. I don't know. My husband likes turtlenecks. I don't know how my son feels about it, but it has really great stuff. And I'm really, really happy that she lent me this. I'm really excited to make a few things from it. The second book she lent me is a Kaffe Fassett book. So he's really known for all of his amazing color work. I'll show you a few. They're so pretty. He's really, like, I don't know if I'll do as bold colors as he does. Look how bold this is. Look at that. Look at that, amazing. But I do want to have like some fun with it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think it's really cool. I'd probably choose like a bit more earthy tones, muted, probably less bright, but he does have the most intricate, vibrant. Look at that. Sorry, I just keep saying the same thing. It's just really fun. I think that's really pretty. It's just gorgeous pictures as well. I think it was like made in the 90s, you can tell. Maybe 80s. But there's a lot of fun colors. But honestly, like, all the decades are coming back, so I don't think it's matters. And you can always just mess around with the construction. But I think they're really great jumpers. They're like really timeless. Well, I don't know if they're timeless. They're really fun colors. Yeah. So I feel really lucky that she gave me these books. They're really cool. I'm really excited to make some things from them. And then, so this book I bought myself, and this is by Claire Garland. And if her name sounds familiar, she's the one who's done those tiny little frogs that you see everywhere all over Instagram, the cute little things. And she has actually a whole magical woodland knits. So it says knitting patterns for 12 wonderful lifelike animals. And I just think they're the most sweetest little things, and I'd love to make a few of these. Look at that. So this is the wild rabbit. They're just so, and she goes into detail on how to put together. Yellow-necked field mouse. The common pheasant. She's just so amazing. This one's so sweet. Roe deer fawn. Red fox. Just really, I won't show you them all because I know some people like to have the book and kind of go through it themselves. So those are really, really sweet, and I'm really excited about that. So yeah, so those are the books I wanted to show you. These are the knits I have. And then lastly, the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about with you guys before I get into my whole life, who am I, all that rest of the stuff, is kind of, I've really gone into gift knitting this year, making a lot of things for a lot of people, including like myself and my kids and everything like that. And I've kind of made so much stuff for my kids with so many different fiber contexts that I get a little lost of which things can go in the washing machine, which things need to be hand washed, what needs what. So what I ended up doing, I'm so excited. So this is what came today. This is why I was like, oh my god, I need to podcast, I need to sit down, I need to show you guys. But I ordered these sweet tags. So it has my name on it, and it's called Knit with Love. And so I found this from watching another podcaster. She does a lot of sewing podcasts. And this is like 100% cotton. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But whatever. So she ordered some tags for herself to sew into her own garments. And I thought that was the sweetest thing. So I thought I'd do the same for all the stuff I make. So I went ahead and ordered it. And I'll put all the links of everything down in the description below. So if you're interested, you can have a look at it, of how I ordered everything, all the different websites I used. I used Canva to kind of design a lot of the stuff. And then, because, it had also, like, so she just did it for the labels, but then when I was on the website, I saw that they can also do washing care instructions. So I decided to get a few of these. So this one, just depending on what it is. So there's one for hand wash only. There's one for wash but not dry. And then one for washing and you can put it in the dryer. And I just had so much fun making these. And it came actually in the cutest little, like, way. Look at that. That's how they were delivered. With this ribbon wrapped around it. I can't. This is so sweet. Anyway. And I just put them in this little box bag. And then, so before that came, I was already in the headspace of like making the gift knits really special. I'm of the belief is if you give someone something, it's theirs and they do what they want with it. I'm not gonna like if they put it in the dryer and it felts and it shrinks up, like that's happened to me, and it's theirs. I have no control over it. It's not mine. Whatever happens, happens. But that being said, if they have the desire to take care of it in a more gentle way and they want to know how to take care of it, I want to set them up for success. So I want to kind of give them everything they need to kind of set them off. I'm not going to like send them a whole bunch of like video links. I just want to send them a short little like tidbit of like the most important information. And so I found these like little templates online of like washing care instructions for hand knit items. So it's just so sweet. And so then I went into Canva and I just made it look, I just edited it to kind of fit my style a little bit more. And so this is like hand knit items, and then it just talks about it. It's like, this gift was lovingly hand knit just for you. To help you keep your hand knit looking its best, there are a few handy washing and care tips on the reverse side of this card. So please keep it for future reference. And so then on the reverse, it just says, this item was knit from, and then here I'll just write the fiber content. Alright, sorry about that. So yeah, I was just showing you these little cards. I don't know why, but like after 10 minutes, I keep getting cut off. But yeah, so this is what I made. And then on the back, it just kind of goes through kind of that washing instructions, and I could just be a little bit more specific with it. And they're just really sweet, and I just pop them in to whatever I made. I make a little bag, and then I put in with it these little sachets. And so then it just has my name on it, and it just says Knit with Love. And I put lavender and rose petals and eucalyptus, and I think in some of them I put like a little cedar ball as well, and I just pop it in. And it's like a little natural moth repellent. Don't know how well it works, but hopefully it works well. And I ordered just these little tags off of Amazon and also the little bags, and then I just ordered a bunch of dry herbs. And then for my name, I got a stamp from the same place where I got the cards, and I just stamped them. And then I just put in the bag a little bit of wool wash, so either a little sachet that I've gotten with some of the like knit subscriptions I've gotten in the past. So I just keep them and I give them to friends, or if it's like a bit of a special or more special, if it's a bit of a more special project, put it in like a tiny little bottle, and that should be enough for them of Eucalypt. And then they're all set up to take care of their knits if they so well choose, and if they just kind of don't care and they're just gonna throw it in the wash and let it all felt off, and it's theirs, and that's what they've done with it, and it's not mine. At that point, it's theirs, and if they want to take care of it, I've set them up to take care of it, and if they don't care and it kind of gets ruined, it's theirs. I enjoy knitting and I enjoy giving people things, and that's the joy of it for me, and I want them to enjoy it, but if they don't, that's not in my control. So I try to focus on the things that I can do and not on the things that I can't do. And that just keeps me really happy with knitting. So that being said, so that's it about like all my like stuff that I've gotten and all the stuff I really wanted to show you this podcast. And that is like, honestly, these little tags are the reason that I wanted to like pick up the phone and record a podcast today, because I was just so excited to get them, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And yeah, it was just really fun. And that is like the whole reason why I wanted to start a podcast to begin with. It's just because even though my family is super supportive, and there are a few knit chats, knit groups in London. I mean, I'm literally just outside of London. I'm like on the border of like Hertfordshire and London. So that I go to a couple of those, but my health has been so bad recently because I've been recovering from going to hospital because of my Crohn's and everything. I haven't been able to go to the knit group, so I've been really craving that connection from people who are so passionate about the things that you're also so passionate about. And I've been just watching so many different podcasts, and I know it was just December, so the podcasts were in full swing with everything going on, and it was just really exciting to watch a lot of those and find a bunch of new ones and just kind of see everyone's little bit of day to day. And I wanted to be part of that too. I wanted to share my experience and have that connection of having something that you're so passionate about and sharing it with people who understand and who are passionate about it as well. So that was kind of the point of all this. And even if nobody watches it, which you don't need to, it's not like, it's not an obligation to watch something just because someone puts it out there. It's for me to have it out there. It's for me to share my experiences. It's for me to kind of look back on. It'll be like a video journal, video diary, of everything that means so much to me right now, and that's really kind of holding me together when the seas get a bit more rocky. And I'm just really happy, and I feel really lucky to be able to do this and to have that time and the space and the privilege to kind of have this and have such a supporting and to have such a supportive community that really fully engages online and really supports one another and encourages one another. And honestly, like without Instagram and without YouTube, I would have not started making all these clothes. I would have probably just started knitting casually blankets and scarves every once in a while. But honestly, I was like getting a bit bored of that. And even though it's fun to play with textures and techniques, like there's only so much you can do with a rectangle or a square. And so I'm really, really happy I found this community. I feel really, really lucky to be a part of the community. It's something that I've been really craving and I feel really connected to, and And I just want to say thank you for anybody who is joining me on this journey. I know there's a lot of places and people you can spend your time with, and I just want to say thank you for spending a little bit of time with me and letting me share my experiences with you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to kind of know a little bit more about me, I'm happy to share a little bit more. If you're interested, just let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll just kind of keep it knitting related. I feel like I could talk a lot about me. I have a whole bunch going on with my health. I could talk about my family, all of it, but I know this space is used. I know a lot of people use this space for a lot of different reasons, and I know a lot of people connect with it for a lot of different reasons, and I just want to make sure it's a space that everyone feels comfortable in. And I don't want to kind of get too heavy or too dark or too into anything if that's not what people are looking for. And just thanks for being here. And I hope you join me for my next podcast. I don't know when that will be. I don't know if it will be next week. Don't know if it will be in 2 months. But thank you for joining me today. And for the people who watched my previous podcast and are joining me for this one as well, thank you for that. And have a lovely day. Thanks.